hello, and welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the DomJake podcast. I am one of your hosts, Jake.
And I'm one of your other hosts, Dom.
The reason why we might be saying your other host is because, well, guess what? We're kind of being joined right now by the one, the only... Who are you?
Yeah, I'm LunarGreyRabbit, but you can call me Mjara. Yeah.
Alright, lovely. Anything else we need to talk about, or is it time to do the cheese? And, Dom, you have no idea what's happening this episode, because I have done things in secret.
Oh boy.
Let's just say...
So this is like, it's like going on a roller coaster and then now all of a sudden, once it goes down, there's no going back.
Say cheese, exactly, right? There's a photo at the top, right? Now, the thing about this is I have to kind of be honest with you. We've kind of spoken about things, and if you've watched some of the episodes that we've done before, in particular one, you may have seen examples of these, but Mjara, our prince here, just happens to be a VTuber as well. And that's the point of this episode.
VTubers, huh? Oh.
Right. Oh
I think
my
I got
god,
it to
we
work.
have something!
So, when you're a VTuber, you come up with the most creative solutions for everything. So I'm doing a projector and capturing the screen instead of doing the webcam option.
As soon as you said it wasn't gonna work, I was like, okay. But then, wow, there we go. This, ladies and gentlemen, is an example of a VTuber. Now, as our guest, and I should say the more professional in terms of what VTubers are, could you maybe explain just in lay terms what is you?
I have to think of how I'd even describe a VTuber. Basically, to me, what it is there's so many limitations being a human, and being a VTuber is the ability to transcend that and be who you want and have the ability to kind of role play as that person. And a lot of people do it for entertainment reasons, like streaming, playing video games. That's why I do it. But, I mean, it's just your online persona, however you want it to look like there.
Alright.
Now, this can range from humanoid species like yourself, and this could also be something like a desk lamp. I've seen a desk lamp one where it's just a PNG of a lamp with some eyes on it.
Just an anthropomorphic lamp.
Yeah, I think I have one of a dog in a cup. Yo, what up?
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
This is the defaults that come with the software, or a cat.
Ah. Where's Puss in Boots?
Ah. Yeah, there's not booties on this one, right? Nah.
Right. And there's the one we started with.
Yeah.
That's the one we started with. Perfect. And that's the one that I've at least seen for years, right?
Yes.
On and off, of course. But now, so I guess we could start this off by, maybe doing your... Yeah, sure, we could do it this way. We could No. I'm actually backtracking here. Let's actually get into the community and maybe some bigger pictures, some of the more broader general things, right? So, in your opinion, what do you think makes VTubers stand out in the streaming world? Right?
I think it really comes from like the niche of like the anime otaku kind of space. I think if that space didn't exist, I think VTubers would be a lot more niche than they already are. But I think because anime is so popular that people are like, wait, you can be anime? And people love it.
Right on.
There's definitely a store in our, I guess that's in our state. It's in a outdoor shopping center that does have an anime store, so it's definitely gotten popular in recent years.
You know how big our state is, right?
Yeah, I know. But yeah. Definitely, anime is definitely popular.
Now, I guess, Dom, have you partaken in any of the Japanimation?
Like, doing like VTuber stuff? Or just in general?
Just in general, just some anime, right? Anime.
I've never gotten too much into it, but doesn't mean I have not watched some anime stuff before.
Yeah, what we're looking at here is probably just another, maybe some Sunday morning Dragon Ball or Pokemon, and then maybe
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Maybe
no, there were some movies that were not like necessarily like Western anime, but I saw some like English dubbed stuff that were like generally not like the mainstream before. I mean, I forgot what the names of them were.
If you're gonna say Akira as not being part of, I'm like, what? No. Yeah. Of course, I have to reel myself in and not take forever to gush about, the world of anime stuff, because honestly, this is more so about the puppeteering an anime character, if you want to call it that, right?
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
I would more so maybe kind of be curious about what, or who, I should say, were some of your biggest inspirations in the VTuber space before or when you started.
So, okay, this is an interesting question. I don't think anyone's asked me this ever. So, back prior to, like, the HoloLive storm, pre-pandemic, there was this, like, stupid little streaming software called FaceRig, and it had more 3D, like, realistic stuff, but there was user content, and I remember downloading, like, a VTuber before they were called VTubers and being like, oh my gosh, I love this, and then shelving it and being like, oh, this will never be a thing. And then the pandemic happened and then VTubers exploded, and so we see stuff like, obviously it's very popular in Japan, but in America that's when HoloLive EN started, and I love Holo Myth, so like Gargura, Calliope, Kiara, you name it, I love them all. And then Niji Sanji took off, and then Bishoujo took off, and there were some other smaller ones, but HoloLive EN, I think, was like where I was like, oh my god, I'm so dumb, I could have been doing this the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there's always a time and place, and now it's fun. The pandemic is really what started it, right?
At least the Western boom of it, right? Because I think maybe mid 2019 or like maybe 18, like Kizuna Ai was like around, right? Because I remember like the Backstreet Back Alright or whatever with Kizuna, and I was like, what the heck is this? Like, I don't know, that was like 18 or 19 or something, right? Like,
I think she debuted in 2016, but I don't think
so. We're going a little bit more back.
Yeah, I don't think she really got popular until 2018 or so.
That was probably where it was at then, because I think I was watching different like meme compilations and just happened to be there, right? As one of the members. But let me kind of do a little bit of a clarification on let's just say the audience members who might not know what the terms, Hololive, what
Oh, yeah.
Nijisanji, what VShoujo, what Prism, what is
Face
it?
Connect.
Face Connect, right?
Face Connect, right?
So you're saying this as if you know everything that's happening. So essentially, these are
I'm like one of the audience members,
corporations. Yeah, exactly. These are corporations. You could have corporation VTubers, and you could have independent. Right now, the only ability that we can't have one on is an independent. So that's why we have this one and not Gar, right? Not
Womp womp.
Dang. If I played my cards right, I probably could have done something else. Nah, but we're definitely glad that you're here, because honestly, like, if we're gonna say something that's probably gonna be cut out, you know what? It doesn't have to be cut out. You are definitely one of the people who... Actually, scratch that. One of the VTubers who, I am definitely part of a community in, right? We could call it that, right? And let's just say there is a sense of belonging there, right? But getting back to the meat and potatoes, they are corporations, much to the same sort of idea as you can make an animation, but it doesn't mean it's owned by Disney, right? Disney is different from just Bob's Studio, right?
Just Bob's Studio.
So that's the kind of direction that I'm trying to go in. Right now we are joined by technically a VTuber who is independent, like a Bob's Studio, sort of, sort of LLC, if you want to call it that.
Copyright 2025.
Meanwhile, there are definitely heavy corporations, and those are the ones that we are referring to, right? When we say that. Hololive is definitely, I would say, the biggest one in terms of that movement. But I don't have to ramble on and on and on and on. So we could probably talk about maybe the evolution, as in, like, maybe the evolution of the VTuber community since, like, maybe you began, or at least since it entered your zeitgeist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, in terms of inclusivity and creativity, how's the VTuber community evolved since you were at least in its circle?
Yeah, so I would say, like, you have to kind of dig to find where you want to be. So, like, there was this one corporation that was starting. I can't remember its name, but if anyone listening knows about VTubers, they probably heard about this one because it was a huge drama zone. And they were kind of proclaiming themselves to be like the next VShoujo, like, where the VTuber has more ability and say in regards to what they did. And that community, like, burned to the ground hard. And so, like, for me, I was kind of like wandering alone. Twitter was a good space to find people, but then it's Twitter. So I kind of stopped using that for a while. But anytime I'm on Twitch and I'm around a VTuber, like, one of my favorite VTubers that are indie is someone named Jamie Farron. I don't know how much he streams anymore, but it was easy to, like, come up and collab with them and then just be like, yo, what are you doing? What are you doing? And just find companionship. And then, okay, I'm going to drop some lingo. Every VTuber is going to call their artist their mama, and their rigger their papa, and the rigger is the person that makes you move. But my mama, or artist, Canera, she has this huge community that she built, and anyone who's been drawn by her is in this Discord, except for like 2 or 3 people. And so that was a good way to start getting connection at first. And I feel like for VTubers, there's always that drive for anonymity, and also to be immersive. So I feel like everyone has, like, that core in common, so it's really easy to connect and just feel like you're part of something bigger.
And
Yeah.
it obviously goes much further than just being, you know, a VTuber. It kind of encompasses the whole circle, right? The fandom, the community members, right? Just those that I have at least spoken to about, well, anything. You know, people are the ones who are in control of these magical, colorful anime beings on TV, right? On your screen, right? But it kind of just shows that a lot of the people who you gravitate towards are the ones who are like you, right? In some factor, whether it's even just like both of you don't like Brussels sprouts or whatever, right? There's always that connection when it comes to finding a streamer or content creator or just person in general that you mesh with, right? And I've struck gold whenever I found you, you know?
Maybe. Yeah, no, it brings up a good point that I think VTubers deal with more parasocial fans than I think the average streamer does, which I don't know why that is, but I have dealt with it like a lot. And when I wasn't a VTuber, it barely would happen. Like, it would happen, but not at this level, man. I feel like people love their waifus, and it's kind of weird.
Yeah. I think during the pandemic, I've seen a lot of stuff about people just marrying their waifu like pillow or whatever.
Yeah.
I have
well,
one of
at least
those.
I would at least say that's safer.
I mean,
we're more
sure.
so talking about like, hey, you know, Mjara, I'm gonna be coming over at like 7 o'clock tonight, right? I'm gonna knock on your door. I know where you live, right?
Yeah, there was that one incident where a VTuber got a gift at a convention and ended up having like an Apple tracker device, and the person started stalking them at their home.
Is that Camilla?
I think so. I can't remember exactly who, but that's terrifying. Oh my gosh.
And then, I mean, not to mention the stuff with... Okay, another educational moment here. Sometimes whenever corporations are scouting different people out, they would look for the independent creators. What we would call those independent creators before they transition to a corporation, we would call that a past life, right? So... there was somebody back in their past life who moved to Japan and had like a crazy stalker incident. And
yeah.
happened to turn out as one of the first 5 myth members, right? I mean, the community pretty much knows this already, but I'll still keep it kosher. I'm not gonna say who it is. But who it was Kikihime, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like, she's Austrian and moved to Japan when she was like 17. Got some like modeling or like idol gigs or something, and then someone just throughout 5 years or whatever kept on just finding her, right?
I mean, they still are doing it now. There was a few months ago. She had to cancel a stream because it happened again. Person showed up.
That same... I've seen, like, the documentaries or whatever about that. So, I've seen the guy's face. Or at least...
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah. And it gets, like, even crazier. Like, if you start watching VTubers that stream some IRL content, they always have gloves on because, like, it's, like, that scary to have your identity revealed. And I've seen streams where like the glove will rip a little and you'll see the skin tone and people will start like obsessing and gushing, and it's like, bro, it's just skin. Like, everyone has it. Get over yourself.
We all
have skin, but not everyone is a waifu of mine.
I know. It's interesting.
I mean, something interesting is like whenever people have like hand tattoos or something, like obvious signifiers of that's you.
Like, yeah.
But no, things are crazy out there, and of course, not everybody is crazy.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, majority of people are pretty chill. It's just there is a tendency to go overboard, or a chance you'll have overboard fans.
Yep.
Would you say the percentage of like of the vocal, maybe minority, but I guess you could determine that? How many people would actually end up, in terms of percentage, that overbearing person? That overbearing, I kind of regret to call them fans, but we could really say, I guess, super fans in a weird way.
Yeah. Well, okay, so it's interesting because I feel like out of 100% of someone's fans, I think about half of them are going to be parasocial. I think it's impossible to avoid that because when you stream, it's different than like Hollywood where you only see the person in the movies or occasionally in an interview. Like, they're coming into your life and they're learning about you all the time. So I think it's near impossible for streamers, and this is including outside of VTubers, to have parasocial fans where they want to know more about you. They want to be like, they believe that they're your best friend, even though like you barely know them, right? But then of that parasocial fan base, I think like a good 5 to 10% kind of lean towards the I'm obsessive. I'm
like, this could be, yeah, like you said, this doesn't just relate to VTubers, just like, I'm sure celebrities have their parasocial fans.
Oh,
yeah.
They're the type of people who actually get stopped in the middle of the street, you know, because their face is actually out there. But there's a part of me that's like kind of thinking, I would almost think like the people who have a way to hide and kind of stay in their mask of anonymity are the ones at more danger, I would say, because there's that kind of piece that's like, ooh, I don't know what this one is, so I'm just gonna try to find who this one is, you know?
Yeah, it's interesting too, because if you try to look up like, who's this VTuber, like in reality, like people will go on hunts to figure out who the real face is, and it's like, they're a VTuber for a reason, like leave them alone.
Right. Like, I was, okay, I mentioned Past Lives before, right? But, I was a fan of, I still am, I catch some of the stuff that they do, but, I'll say, because one of them was a Neji Sanji who, you know, graduated and stopped, and now he's doing his thing back again. But I was a fan of Quinn Benet, right? Or Bennett, whatever you want to call the last name, right? Back like 4 or 5 years ago, before he did his Neji Sanji stuff. And I was also going over to the Hollow Bridge now. I was also a fan of Elizabeth Roseblood back before too. So it's kind of interesting how it's like years later you can kind of hear some like voice and you're like, that reminds me of something that I liked back in like, I don't know, middle school or something. But nah, it is definitely crazy. If I was crazier, that could have been something interesting, you know? But no, we don't have to keep on with the bad eggs of the group. Are there any good eggs in your community who you would maybe consider doing additional projects outside of streams with, for instance?
Are you trying to talk about you?
No!
I'm kidding. Yeah, no. So I unfortunately also ran into an unfortunate situation where I had to redo everything because of crazy ex-stalker. But because of that, I kind of got the ability to see who I guess the real ones are, lack of better words. And I have so many community members that like shit literally hit the fan. Am I allowed to swear? I should probably ask that.
You know what? I don't fucking think you should. How fucking dare you, you bitch.
No!
We are a fucking Christian family.
This is a family.
We're a fucking family, guys. Come on.
Well, you know what?
No, but
Try.
but no, we try to keep it as like minimal, but it ain't just gonna be like you're banned if you do.
Okay.
Go on.
Anyways, when things went really bad and I was basically not streaming for a year, there's several key community members that I have that just stuck around and were still supportive. Like even now I'll get messages from a few of them being like, hey, are you okay? Like, we haven't heard from you in a while. Or like, hey, happy holidays. And that's always really nice because it's like when I had to completely redo my whole setup and everything, it was a very much like a piece of me felt like it was gone. And so having those consistent people around me were always, it's just so nice. And like, Jacob, I know you're one of them. Kika is one. Alpha, they know who they are. I'm not gonna give out their full like usernames. Primi, like there's so many people that just like I feel like I could disappear for 10 years and come back and they would still be there somehow.
You know, I noticed someone you kind of left out there. You kind of left out Chloe.
Chloe doesn't count. I'm married to Chloe. He's a fan by happenstance.
Hear that?
No, yeah, Chloe counts. Chloe supports me 100% of the time. He's stuck with me every day. There's no way I could disappear for 10 years from him.
Well, maybe. You've seen true crime before, right? No.
That's true.
Hey, as true as true crime.
Or our fake crimes. Episode, what was it, 38? Go back and listen to it.
Yeah, go back.
Yeah. Shameless plug to ourselves here, right? No, but the real ones are definitely real for that reason, right? Around that confusion and hullabaloo, something happened to the point where I think maybe you deleted the server or something, so like, for a while, you know, on Discord, I was kind of just AWOL because something happened. But nah, I kept the Twitch follow up, and just one day I was like, that's a name that I hadn't seen in a while, you know? So I just happened to just be on one day. This probably wouldn't have even happened if I didn't get bored that one night. Think about that, right?
Right.
But no, it's definitely a good thing going on, right? Now, I guess you know what, did you always know the direction that you wanted to take with your content and persona as soon as you kind of developed it? I guess initially anyway, because now you're kind of doing a slight rebrand, but we could talk about the past at least.
Yeah, so it's so funny, I still have my original like concept sheet, but I don't think I knew what I wanted it to be at first. And now that I'm looking back, there's so many different like monster girls and mythology that I probably could have leaned towards more, but somehow this one felt the most right. I really like the moon, so I always knew that was going to be a part of it. I just didn't know where it would present. And so when I was looking into moon mythology, that's when I found the Rabbits of the Moon. And I have like a whole composition book or two. I'm trying to look on my desk. That's why I'm looking around. Full of lore notes, the history of the Moon Kingdom, everything. Like So not every VTuber role plays, and some of them have lore and then forget it. Some of them go mid. I feel like I'm one of the ones that are probably pretty hard in their role play because I work so hard on it. Why wouldn't I use it? So much so that because I'm transitioning to a male model because I am a man. I found out. Long story, but my announcement was even in character. Like, I couldn't not do it. Like, all of me was like, this is gonna be sick as hell. And I think it was. This is when Jacob's like, no, it was bad.
Terrible, garbage, derivative. No, it was definitely amazing, you know. It's because it's coming from a place of, I guess, self-acceptance. Oh my god, self-acceptance, right? It's coming from a place of, screw everybody else, this is me now, right? And you could feel that. At least I could feel it. I don't know about everybody else, but I can
feel it.
Video.
Well, I haven't seen it, but yeah.
You can feel it prematurely, though.
Sure.
Yeah, my confidence, my aura.
But no, yeah, it's you're definitely one of those real ones, man. Like, I also forgive me. I should say both of you should forgive me for this one because I'm kind of going all over the place in my bullet points. So like, I'm trying to see like, oh, did we do this one yet, or did we not yet? You know, so I'm just over here kind of scrolling through. You know what, Dom? I guess let's have you ask some questions about the whole experience, whatever.
I've had this question for a while, but I just haven't asked it yet. But what actually got you interested into the anime as just a genre of stuff?
Oh my goodness, I'm so old, so this is gonna
back in 1928.
Basically.
Hey, that was 97 years ago. Come on.
Yeah, I'm only 88. Come on. I thought you knew this.
Yeah.
That's my canonical age, so we'll just go with that. It's because it looks like two bunnies that are sitting next to each other, by the way. Okay, anyways,
Jesus.
side tangent. I tell you, my lore is perfect. I have always liked anime. I remember growing up watching Toonami and stuff like that. You guys remember Toonami? Am I aging myself?
Nah, I've had it. I've seen it. I know.
And I remember going to the library and my mom being like, you have to read books.
Libraries.
And so I would pick out manga and I would read stuff like Sailor Moon and Ranma 1/2 and all that. Inuyasha. I was big Inuyasha stan. This is pre Naruto, pre Bleach, pre all that stuff. It was very much 80s, 90s anime and loving every moment of it. I remember at school, no one knew what it was. I was drawing DBZ characters and people were like, what the hell is that? And I was like, what do you mean? What is this? This is awesome. So for me, it's just been ingrained in me my entire life.
Do they have any videos at the library with stuff like that?
No, but they had the Sailor Moon soundtrack, and if you haven't heard the English soundtrack, the first one, don't. It's bad. But kid me was like, this is a vibe. You're gonna have to give me your review, but it's bad.
I'll have to put that in my notes.
You'll have to kind of listen to it now, Dom. You kind of forced him into a corner there by explaining that.
I still remember the words to all the songs, and there's this one song where Sailor Moon and Sailor Mars are fighting each other, like not fighting, but I'm cooler than you kind of thing. And me and my best friend at the time tried to audition for the talent show with that song, so
And they
Look.
obviously allowed you to do it, right?
No! We didn't practice or anything.
Oh, so that's kind of on you.
Yeah, no, we were just like, oh, we're cool. We'll smash this.
Hmm.
I've always had this ego.
You know what? It shows.
And I've always just naturally gone towards performing arts too, so VTuber just makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, totally right. Totally not blanking on the thing that I had in my head for like a minute. Totally don't remember what I'm saying.
Did I ramble too much?
Nah. It was something. It was something. Oh my god. Holy moly, casserole. Apparently it's not that important if it's not back yet.
So your start with anime was like Toonami and the books that you got at the library?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
It's cool. Yeah, I just looked up the date of Toonami. It's like, wow, that was a long time ago.
Oh no, what is it? Tsunami.
1997.
Oh gosh.
Started
That's later than I thought it was. No, that would be
launched.
accurate.
Toonami launched in 1997.
I remember in 4th grade. Again, I'm old. Like, we had a teacher from Japan come in and show us like a Pokemon episode in Japanese, and I was like, I'm addicted. This is before Pokemon even came to the US, so feel free to check those dates out too.
So this is like during the SNES days or the Nintendo 64?
Yeah, it was probably 1996, 95 when that happened.
I see.
I don't remember. I'm too old.
I mean, hey, whose fault is that? You're the one who said 88, right?
I know, right? Given the opportunity, how old do you want to be? Oh, let's just age myself up to an old lady age. Now, old man.
Everyone ages differently, right?
Yeah, that's true. Oh my goodness. I remember on my debut, I had Chloe review my information because, like, a debut is just basically like when you launch your VTuber, you share it for the first time, and a lot of people often do like stats, like height, weight, and all that stuff. And I gave him like a dummy one because I didn't want him to see the weight I put down, and I put down 15 pounds because the weight on the moon skews because like you're lighter on the moon. I think it equals like 120 pounds or something like that. But that was so funny.
Anyway.
So a little bit before, you actually did mention that you are starting to kind of, I guess, find acceptance in your own self, and you are now identifying as he, him, right? So
Correct.
We could kind of, if you're comfortable, of course, we could totally skip this if not, but...
We can transition to your transition.
Yes,
Sorry.
the words that are coming out of my mouth, right?
Yeah, I don't mind.
No, yeah, but it is definitely such it is definitely such a personal milestone. And how did how did your discovery influence the way that your model is going to change? Because we're seeing the old one.
Yeah, this is a very old one. I even have like the OG like rigging where it wasn't as fluid. It's very jank. I don't want to change my lore or anything like that. So for me, it was a matter of like, how do I keep that in and then also update what I look like? All of my colors are pink and purple too, and I'm like, do I change that? And I'm like, nah, that's a branding thing. So I'm comfortable with like the colors because it's colors. colors or whatever. But for me, like the model kind of needed to switch as well. And so I messaged my artist or Mama Canera, talked to her a little bit about what options I have, and I'm a big fan of the anime like Revolutionary Girl Utena and like the prince aesthetic. So to me, and princess aesthetic, like just royalty aesthetic. So for me, it was like pretty easy to come up with an idea of what a gender bent character would look like, essentially.
And actually, come to think of it, speaking of gender bent avatars, as a member of that community now, I guess, is there a way that you see it differently now? Wow, I am not asking the question that I want to ask. What the heck? Now that you find yourself as a part of the LGBTQ, do you look back at different gender bent models weirdly in a different light? Is it fine or is it less acceptable? Right, like, I'm trying to say stuff like, I believe Council had like a bunch of male members, right? Like, I think Crony, I think Sana was even there, right?
Yeah, I think they did a council stream like that for April Fools, I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was April Fool. I don't think it was the one where they just swapped models or something, right? But they actually, force pitched all the way down, right? And tried to...
Oh, like this?
Yeah, something like that, right? Is that something that is acceptable for someone not in the LGBTQ community?
I'm pretty open-minded. I don't really care. It's never really bothered me. I thought, actually, like, one of my favorite animes is Ranma 1/2, which is probably, says a lot about who I was when I was not aware of my denial.
It's great.
But for me, I honestly don't mind. People can do whatever they want. As long as it doesn't hurt anyone, I don't care. And none of that hurt me, or at least I don't think it hurt anyone in the community. And I think it's fine. And sometimes I think it can be kind of, I know if I was to have done something like that, I think I would have come to terms a lot sooner. So it could actually be beneficial, but I mean, it depends. I know everyone has their own viewpoints, but to me, I'm like, do what you want, do what makes you happy, do what makes you laugh. I mean,
do unto one as you want done to yourself, whatever that is, right?
Yeah, and cross-dressing is like a normalized thing too. Like, that's basically the VTuber equivalent of it.
That is true. But one can also maybe argue that, oh, it's just a character, you're not doing it yourself, it's just a PNG file, right?
Oh man, I hate when people say that because it becomes an extension of you. I've had dreams where I am this model because it's just one and the same in my head. Because, like, you're surrounding yourself with it, you're editing videos, you're hearing your voice attached to it, you're, like, working on stuff, like, it has to become your personality while you stream, and if you're trying to fake it and, like, fit into something you're not, it's gonna come across when you're, trying to entertain people. And so to me, like, I can't separate myself from the anime, which I think is pretty weird, but it is what it is. I didn't expect it at first, but the more and more I am a VTuber, the more and more I'm like, no, this is me, like, this is fine.
You're gonna start taking the red pill and just start, I don't know, growing bunny ears off the top of your head, right?
I have 4 sets of them at home.
But that's not yours. That's just a headband. I mean,
hey, I mean, it's just like packing and stuff like that. And like, it's just, you know, it helps with the imagination. I wear them when I stream to get in character. That's a secret behind the scene fact.
So you actually, we don't see it, but you wear the headbands.
Yeah, because I think it helps because like the weight of the ears, I think makes the movement a little more natural. I don't know. It's something I make up in my head.
Yes, it gets you more passionate, I guess, right? That makes sense.
It roots it down in the same, you know, in the same headspace as what the character could be. That's why you would see, like, voice actors all the time, they would, like, stand big if they're doing, like, a big, like, king giant or something. But then they'll do little tiny bit thing. They'll shrink themselves down physically so then they could play, like, the shy, timid character, right? Like, it totally makes sense to kind of have that body language, even if a camera's not catching it. Of course, in your case, kind of catches it, but kind of. But no, it totally makes sense, you know? Like, the big, broad stance shows confidence, and then the smaller, and like, I don't know, putting a pebble in your shoe, making you limp a little bit, can dictate so many other things, right? Like, it is acting, but of course there is a sense of realness in there, right? Because you can be playing a character totally 100%. You can be. I'm sure some people do. And it literally is not the same person who's recording these lines and puppeteering this thing as that human flesh tuber.
Flesh tuber.
Hey, that's not
Can
my
we
term.
coin that as a real... Wait, it's not a... It is already a real term?
It is a term, yeah.
I never heard it.
I
thought you did. I thought it was off the dome. I was like impressed.
No.
So I was like, what the hell is this term? I love it.
I think the first person I heard say it was probably Bay, but I don't know.
Sounds like a Bay thing.
Huckles, Bales, or whatever. You have to kind of say it in an Australian accent, right?
Yeah.
Huckles, Bales. But no, Flesh Tuber is just how they explain the person behind the scenes, right? Yeah, my Flesh Tuber went to school back in 2008 or whatever, right? Like, something like that, sure.
I always heard it called roommate. My roommate did this.
But of course, like, some people, whenever they're piloting in a VTuber, they would have some sort of lore behind it, to the point where they would even say, like, oh yeah, the other... I'm gonna say something like, sure. Like, Mori, right? You could say, the other deaths in my community, even though you actually mean, like, oh yeah, the other people who are in my care, you know? Oh, yeah. The sharks that are in my school, right? Just means, oh yeah, the people that are in my community, right? They would kind of, I guess, express their lore in a real way, I guess. Like, no, oh yeah, like, the deer that is crossing the street. I forgot where I'm going with this, but no, there's definitely ways that you could explain certain situations in character, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, now that we've gotten most of the interview sort of stuff, unless if you wanted to maybe share a little bit more, or if anyone else has any questions, I was kind of thinking maybe we move on to a different creative sort of improv-based thing. Any last minute, I guess, interview stuff before we move on? You could even ask us questions. Ooh.
I didn't come prepared to ask questions. I don't have any
Good
questions.
question. So let's take it away with the next one. Now, alright, as the professional VTuber in our call, let's just call it, you can be the judge, and we will go against each other and have you judges. I think we are going to be making our own VTuber lores based off of wacky scenarios that guest over here comes up with. Dom,
Yep, so...
are you fine with the rules?
Depends on what the rules are. I think I'd be fine with them.
Pretty much just be creative with it, and it's just best of 3. And
Okay.
do not go easy on either of us, okay?
Okay.
Preferential treatment, no. Which I might be shooting myself in the foot here, right?
Alright. So we're doing different prompts for each of you, right?
But not gonna go first to show how I'm thinking of kind of doing it, though, right? But,
Okay. I'm trying to think of how I want to do it. I kind of want to just come up with one word and then just see what happens.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Alright,
Totally.
okay. Your word is gonna be forest.
Forest, as in the woods, right?
Yeah.
Forest. Okay, you're kind of going serious with it. For some reason, I was thinking, like, public restroom. But no, forest.
Forest can be hilarious too, thank you.
Oh, it definitely can be. Like, one forest one, right? That's actually, my password. That's gonna be my password on every social media site. It's gonna be one forest one. There you go.
There you go. Perfect.
Forest. So I am more so kind of thinking along the mindset of a garden.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking of it being like, this is gonna be like an old man, right? It's gonna be a wise wizard who is kind of hued in more of a grayish green, right? Gray-green hues. Kind of mossy rock, if you want to call it that, right? And his name is going to be something like Igneous. Igneous, honestly, just that, because that's a type of rock, right? An igneous rock, I believe. And I guess the opening catchphrase could probably be something like, "Good evening, I am the master of this realm." There you go. And every single time that he collabs, the other model or whoever's with him is gonna be festering with moss, right? To kind of show that I have my tendrils in with the rest of the crew, let's call it. I'm gonna pull the plug there. I guess you heard everything about Igneous, okay?
Igneous.
So you've heard what I'm doing, now I guess it's Dom's turn. Is it gonna be the same word or is it gonna be a different word?
What do you guys prefer?
You're the judge!
Is it?
This is the same word.
Same word? You wanna do?
Igneous. Igneous or moss?
Nah, the word was
Forest.
Forest.
So you're
So I got
character, pretty much.
Yeah. I'll try my best at it. So, as we all know, forests have trees. Now, let's just say this tree is an anthropomorphic tree. And this tree controls everything that goes on in this forest. And even this tree controls how much rain can go in and how much rain doesn't. And this tree is named, I guess, broccoli. Because this tree is the one that's saying, hey, you know what? Don't let it rain here. I don't want, even if it causes a fire, I don't want it to rain. I don't even know where I'm going with this at all. So we've all heard about broccoli the tree being essentially Mother Nature and pretty much like ruling the whole forest.
How does it interact with maybe its fans?
Just any forest, like, I guess activists, like, saying don't cut down the trees, and we have a tree that talks to the audience and talks about how bad deforestation is too.
All right.
What do you think about this, Lunar?
I love broccoli the most because in my head I was immediately jumping to like, what would you name your fans? Oh, Flora, it's easy. And like there's a lot you can spring off of to like really bring the character to life. So to me, broccoli, I love it.
That's the funny thing that I didn't actually even think about. The funny thing was like, he has no clue what VTubers are like. It's kind of fun to kind of see what the initial ideation is, right? I like broccoli too. I shouldn't be saying that as your competitor, but I really like broccoli.
Broccoli is such a good name. It's catchy. People remember it.
Is it spelled differently, or is it just?
Nope, it's the same spelling.
Same spelling. Is it like a space in between, or like hyphenated, or
like
something?
Broccoli.
Like
Nope, it's just broccoli, just like the vegetable you eat.
Okay.
And then you have room to expand, because then you could be like Broccoli Jones eventually.
Broccoli Smith.
Broccoli Smith.
How common is that name, right?
You
So
go
broccoli's
crazy.
just
Some broccoli lore. The merch.
yeah. I think
You just
Smokey
sell
the Bear's
broccoli.
got a little competition here.
It's obviously one of those things where it's like, once you actually get into the VTuber world, you have a lot of room to kind of expand with that one.
Yep.
I'll say, I am pretty proud of my mossy rock guy too.
He's great.
But I like broccoli.
Watch out, Smokey Bear. Broccoli the tree is coming your way.
Right on.
That's his slogan.
That's a perfect, good, like, first round, right? But let's do some more of these, right?
Okay.
That
Let's
length
try.
of time. That length of time was pretty decent, right? It's like we both gave it like 5 or so minutes of like kind of permeating our thoughts and then saying them, right? So yeah.
Alright, so is there like a round 2?
Yeah, this will be best of insert odd number here, depending on how fun we find these. It could be 2 of 3, it could be 3 of 5, you know? It could be...
1 of 2.
Could be
2 of 2.
1 of 2. No.
1 of 2? Well, that means I lost.
You're gonna run away with your one victory. I'm done. I won. I'm out.
No, but hey,
I
no.
see what's going on here. You're pulling the plug because I already lost.
No, I can definitely do a round 2. I can definitely do.
Let's do some more. If anything, these are for fun. And you know what? This is Hollow DJ. This is Niji DJ Sanji.
Sure.
All right. I thought of a silly word. I thought like I should give you kind of a normal word to start with.
Sure.
But this word is gonna be wobble fluff.
Okay, so we're going imaginary.
Imaginary
They gotta be
friends, right?
fun.
So Wobble Fluff. I just want to make sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Ho. Ho.
Good luck.
Okay. I'll
Immediately
go
when I came up with the
Instagram.
word, I was like, I have 700 ideas, but I've been in the VTuber land forever.
I just think of all I'm thinking of are the Puffles, like the Puffles from like Club
You'll
Penguin or
wait
whatever.
for your turn. Wait for your turn. Okay. Wobble Fluff. Right. So
Yes.
I am thinking that back in the prehistoric times, Wobble Fluff was actually a fluffy type of hippopotamus type of creature, right? So this is an earthling that was a prehistoric creature, right? So it's kind of a fluffy hippo, is what I'm kind of thinking this guy as, right?
So yeah,
So it's kind of like you would imagine it as part of the same crew as Ice Age, right? The same like era. It's like a mammoth, and then there's Wobble Fluff, right? So this, and you know what? I'm gonna say it now. This girl's name, her name is Lena, right? Lena as in like
yeah.
Wobblina, right? Wobbly Lena, right? So Lena is an adventurous spirit who just found out that her whole continent is about to break, right? The continental drift. And she wants to unite the continents back together. That's why whenever she's connecting with her fans, she's, trying to ensure that the whole, I guess, continent will stay apart. Not apart, together, right? Will stay afloat and together. Now, she's also a massive fan of pears. Yep, pears.
Just pears.
Prehistoric pears, right? So they're probably much plumper and juicier and whatever, right?
Sweeter.
Sure, yeah. Yeah. And yeah, she's just an adventurous person who wants to keep everyone together. And yeah, she's
So
she's wobbly. She's wobbly and she's fuzzy,
So it's just I'm just picturing a hippopotamus just with fur. Is that what you're picturing too?
Exactly. Exactly, but obviously humanoid. At least this time, more so humanoid, so.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the lore for this girl.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Oh god. So
so I guess recap what the word was again.
Yeah.
Wobble Fluff.
Yep.
Holy fuck.
So okay. So I guess this one I have is an animal that's in the same shape as a cotton ball you buy at the craft store. And it's a white cotton ball. And it's not Kirby either. Do not go to that assumption. In fact, it still has 2 legs, but it's got white fur, but it's got 2 legs walking around. And instead of, Kirby going like in the like the show or games,
Instead of sucking.
let's just say this little cotton ball creature along with the big bad wolf are best friends. And just blow things away. It just goes its way. And this cotton ball is called the snowblower. And this creature, this got powerful enough, this blow power, right? Don't take this out of context. It will destroy even a brick building. And you know what? For a small business, watch out for the snowblower, because your building goes down to shambles. But Now I'm just... But how does this relate to VTubers?
That's what you're trying to tell us.
I think you're right now winning so far, let's just say that.
I don't know, you had a lot of blowing and sucking, so this is either, this is kind
Goodbye.
of...
But, so... Let's just say this creature has more of a personality than you might think. Doesn't just destroy things, too. Likes to connect with the audience. If anything, like Kirby, this creature likes to suck the audience in.
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh.
Not that kind of way. No, and not that kind of way either.
Have a favorite?
Best 3 of 5.
Oh my gosh. Wavalina, you had me sold on that name, but the blowing and sucking is like perfect for the
Blowing and
VTuber
sucking.
community. So, okay, about the VTuber community, like, it's like a secret rule that every one of them is like lewd and inappropriate, even when they're not trying to be. Oh no, everyone is yabai. They just have a different amount and threshold. I've never seen a true say-so VTuber.
But
And
even though, okay, actually I do have somewhat of a lore. Even though it seems like this wants to be friends, this creature likes having friends, but yet likes to destroy things too, not including friendships, but also like in buildings.
And community members and fandom, so I think I won this.
I don't know. I feel like keep blowing. Oh, the amount of puns you could do and just silly things off of it. Oh my gosh! But Wavalina is a kick-ass name. But I'm giving it to it was snowballing.
Snowblower.
Yeah.
Snowblower. My head
okay,
was.
so is
That
this
could cater
one,
to the wrong audience.
is this one hyphenated or like spelled differently?
It's the snow, and there's like a dash blower.
Snow dash blower. Okay.
Wants to bring... Snowblower wants to bring peace, yet break things.
If we're big enough that Chimera can maybe muck up some, like, I don't know, sketches or something of all of these characters, that would be
Oh
awesome.
my goodness.
And heck, you know what? You know what? We might turn it VTubers.
These are all
Oh, boy.
copyrighted. No one can steal these ideas now.
Yeah. So you know what? I'm going to probably have to say this right here. Officially for the competition, I hereby recognize that you demolished me with your 2-0 lead. But I kind of want to continue doing this. Maybe like
That's great.
I don't know, like
We could do a round 3 if we need to, just so I can redeem myself.
It's not even gonna be a round 3 because you already won. Like just more of these, you know? Like, because
Just for fun.
sometimes it's just fun to kind of just like create different things. And like I said, after the first round, after Broccoli won, right? It's kind of interesting to kind of see what someone who's not even a part of the community, at least as much as 2 of us are, right? Come up with these things, right? It's kind of interesting. But no, yeah. Let's do another thing.
Okay, we could try another one. And what's the word for this one, unless we are doing our own thing?
I didn't come up with the word yet. Let's see. Therapist. I think this one will be funny.
Okay, therapist. Immediately the thing. I don't know how bad I want to go with this.
I don't know.
Okay,
We can also
So-
do another word.
nah, therapist is fine.
Let's do therapist. We'll just think of something.
Alright, so therapist immediately it brings to the attention the joke that a lot of people have when it comes to that word, right? If you separate T-H-E, if you separate T-H-E,
Yeah, bye.
if you separate those two words,
You get a word.
See the...
Yeah, that word.
We're not saying that word on here, but...
Yeah, no, don't do that. I didn't even realize. Guys, I'm innocent.
But I am gonna...
But
I'm not even gonna...
So you know what? I'm gonna pull the plug on that one. I'll just say that right there. That I could have done it, but I wussed out. I ain't doing that. So,
minus points for even suggesting.
Okay, so I could go too low, and then I could go too high. What do you want with?
Just
something that's
Okay, so
related VTuber.
So borrowing the kind of mindset of the whatchamacallit, some of the independent creators, such as like someone like Vexoria, or like, I don't know, Milky Ways, or something like that. Gonna be a MILF, right? It's gonna be a MILF. Her name is Thera, right? And she is pissed all the time. Therapist. Because everybody who ever comes to her stream is immediately venting about something that's happening, and she just wants the game, you know? But she looks like she hasn't turned off her therapist day job, right? So it's kind of like an accident that she just happens to have the same uniform on. The cleave is popping, right? And
therapist is this? Where'd I sign up?
Yeah, well, if you separate THE from the... so... She is, just a regular human being. She has, this one's just human, right? Who might have some magical powers in terms of being angry at a lot of people. And, as a therapist, she needs to, look inside herself sometimes and realize that she's actually pissed at herself because her name is Therapist, right? And
so essentially...
And let me tell you this one thing. So online, a lot of them have like different hashtags and stuff that you could do for different like fan art or like fan music or like cosplays, right? The fan art is going to be Therapillustration, right? No, or Therapistration. There we go. That's the art tag. Just a big uberlicious lady. Alright, go ahead with your therapist.
Okay. So this will be a normal... Mine's gonna be a little bit of a more of a normal therapist. And this VTuber, not necessarily as a fortune teller, but this therapist wants to give any just advice, just general knowledge or general life stuff. Let's just say you got angry because your fresh new pair of shoes just got burned by let's just say a molten lava that just dropped on your pair of shoes. This therapist tries to tell you how you what you do in the situation. Do you get angry, or do you just accept the fact that your shoes are burned? Do you get new pairs of shoes? Or But that's just an example. But if you're just wanting to watch VTuber, you got the therapist here. He's just your average Joe therapist. Let's just say you get laid off from a job. Your therapist tries to give you, just good advice. Maybe I will retract it a little bit and go back on the whole fortune teller thing. And this therapist tries to, not like, there's no curse, it's the opposite of a curse. Try to wish good luck on you and all these fancy words. And then the next day you land a new job. And this therapist is named Joe Job. And his hair is curly. He wears funky pants, and he just wears a white t-shirt. Do you picture Bob Ross, or do you just picture your average Joe?
Bob Ross, man, can't stop.
Yeah. And he's therapy on his own.
He's just a man of good luck.
Bob Ross is slapping the devil out of it, and my Sarah is slapping your devil out of you.
Hey, Joe Job is trying to help. Okay, who do we got as the winner?
Therapist is...
Yeah, I like Sarah because I like the name. I think you can work with it, but some of that content is gonna go way you by. Not even because of the way the model would look.
Yeah, she's probably gonna get pissed at, I don't know, Overwatch lobby. She's playing and she just gets pissed at. You know what? It's in brand, it's in character, there we go.
I'm surprised you guys didn't go with like an ASMR one that like calms you down or something.
Well,
that's where my brain went.
Mine's supposed to calm you down, but just in like, maybe like a hypnosis way, fortune teller sort of way.
Yeah.
You know what?
Fortune teller was really cool.
Yeah, I was kind of glad that I heard you say like, actually retract that. I'm like, okay.
I know, I was sad. I was like, no.
In my head, I was like, fortune teller part probably, but like, retract. Okay.
No, I said I'm gonna retract and then do the fortune teller thing.
But no. How about you know what? Let's do another one, but it's not gonna be a competition.
Actually, you know what?
It could be a together thing, right?
I was gonna have Lunar try to think of something new.
Okay,
Like,
I can do
just on the
that.
spot.
Go ahead.
Give me a word.
Here's how it would work. I guess so Dom will tell you a word, and then we'll read it out, and then I'll tell you a separate word.
It's gonna be the most random. It's gonna be the most random thing I'm gonna say. Taco.
Taco? Oh, this is easy.
Oh no.
Okay. VTuber is just a normal dude with a sombrero. His catchline is "Let's talk about it," and he.
So, yeah, I'll save my thoughts till after.
And every time he streams, he likes to try to make it spicier than before. So in order to do that, he plays like hardcore games, like Souls-like games. And whenever he dies, he has to eat something spicy.
So at first I was like, oh, is this just another one of those chat stream things? Let's just chat in the stream. But now we're getting spicy with this, literally.
Hey, does the spice ever get up to a point of needing to toggle on 18+ mode?
Or does or 18 million Scovilles?
How spicy do we get?
I think the point of like the "let's talk about it" is that he has to keep trying to talk with the audience and increasing the Scovilles each time.
Oh,
To the point
like
where
Hot
we
Ones.
find out. where he can't handle it. It's like a solo hot
Hot
one.
Pepper Gaming.
Yeah. Oh, is that a thing?
This just reminds me of the show Hot Ones, where the
I know
celebrities
hot
eat
ones,
wings.
yeah.
And it's like he talks, he plays his game, and then he's trying not to like scream out of like how hot it is.
Like back in the original, like I want to say like 2010 or 2011, early YouTube, right? There was a channel that started up that was basically giving you like video essay type of things, or like did you know about different games, right? But the host would have to eat like a hot pepper before it, so, and they don't, rehearse it, they would just like eat something that they can't handle easily, and they'll be like, ooh. So whenever the Nintendo Wii was first developed, Nintendo decided that Mii's, doing like history and like that type of thing, but like with acid reflux and like needing to stop and cry and like hiccuping every now and then, just talking about different games and stuff like that. I don't know if they do it anymore because I think they moved on to other things, but some of the stuff is still neat to kind of look back on, kind of the earlier people who did like, I want to say like video game essay type of things, kind of. They're just obviously not to the best of their ability because they were burning, right?
It'd be funny if he only played rogues because everything was nachos. But I've been holding on to that in my pocket. I'm sorry.
In your pita pocket, right?
Yeah.
Or in your pocket, or Pocky chips, right? I don't know if you've heard of that company.
No.
They were known for the one chip challenge, but I don't want to get too deep into that.
That looked painful, but yeah.
We ain't talking about the graham crackers that are covered with chocolate that you're supposed to kiss in the middle of it. The Pocky, right? We're not talking about that.
Pepero is what they're called in Korea. And then November 11th is Pepero Day. Okay, sorry, tangent.
but yeah, it's still so it's quite an interesting, I guess, VTuber idea.
The thing is, I can see it already. I can already see, like, scrolling, you find just an independent on Elden Ring right now, and it's like, oh, okay, I see it right away,
Yeah. Elden Ring.
And I'm curious what your mind gives you whenever you hear the word hemophilia.
Hemophilia. What is that?
It's like something to do with the blood. I think
Huh.
it's blood based. Hang on, hemophilia.
Oh, okay. It prevents the blood from clotting properly. Okay, let me think. Do boo 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 boo.
Yeah, bad blood. I shouldn't have said that because that would probably give you an idea.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. You guys remember in like the early 2000s? I think it was Nelly. I might be wrong. He always had a Band-Aid on his face. Wasn't him who... There was some person, I think it was Nelly, but I can't remember. But the VTuber would have a Band-Aid on their face. And they would be very like Band-Aid focused, like everything's got to stick it to it, or big Band-Aid theme silliness. I think.
Hopefully you're not ripping off someone else's design.
Wait, is that someone else's design? Nelly.
No, I'm just saying, I hope you're not ripping off his design.
Oh my gosh.
Well, let's just rip the Band-Aid off and continue.
And I think it'd be cute if it, like, his accessory was like an oversized like first aid kit, and like his comedy or like silliness is based off of what's in the kit, and it's like not real first aid stuff. It's like really stupid stuff.
Or akin to like Operation, where it's like, you got butterflies in your stomach, so I guess you should get a net, right?
Yeah.
There's like you're bleeding and there's some Band-Aid and it's just like a Gatorade looking bottle and you just pour it on and it's healed.
Yeah. It's like, this is my sports drink.
Well,
But you could have. Oh, you know what? I could have gone with a mummy. That would have been perfect. Ah, I failed.
That's rough.
This is hard to do on the spot.
Right?
I think the whole point.
Did he give us, I don't know, a wobbly fluff or something?
Wobble fluff. That's a good word.
Broccoli.
It'd be funny though if his challenges were like top 5 ways to avoid taking damage in this game.
There you go. Well,
I'm
how do y'all feel
the
about
mummy.
just the gauze man?
It's just a roll of paper towels.
The most sanitary.
Not the good kind, though. The brown ones at school.
Oh, the ones that are paper thin.
Yep, those just like commercial grade paper towels that don't even do anything. Where's the Charmin bears?
The brawny man.
Brownie or Bounty?
You've been using are so absorbent. Now introducing the brown bad ones that you need 50 of them just to get through 1 drop of water.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, this challenge definitely it depends on the word. They had it ups and downs.
Definitely. Of course, like we could probably do better with these types of things if we had more time to think about these things, right?
Like if I could have made Snowblower less like inappropriate sounding.
Well, then I would have won.
No, but that one was perfect though. Oh my god, it was so funny.
Yeah, like would have no judgment, but would I have won if it wasn't that? Probably would have if it wasn't blowing.
I think I blew yours off.
Was a sick name.
But you know what? Maybe we combine forces and Wobblina now blows and sucks.
Yeah, I bet she does.
Continents together. Once again, it is unfortunately time that we have to end our production, right? And it was definitely a fun one, and one that I definitely was nervous-sighted about for the longest time, right? So, let me just say, thank you everyone for watching, and thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is the first podcast I've ever been on, so this was fun.
Oh, well, I guess it's an honor to have you on, knowing this is your first podcast.
Yes.
And I guess as somebody who hasn't really like dove deep into the anime like slash VTuber realm, this was still a fun one to be a part of.
Interesting way to introduce it to me, right?
Yeah, but no, it was still fun. It was fun.
I was hoping a little you were gonna say rabbit hole because of my model being a rabbit.
Take two.
No,
nope.
not in a bad way, Jacob.
You're rolling.
It's a common phrase. Thank you.
Take two action.
No, but yeah.
So where do you think that people are going to find you? Where would people find you in terms of plugging and links, socials, all that stuff?
Yeah, the most common way to find me is on Twitch, under LunarGreyRabbit, all one word. I have a YouTube, TikTok, Discord as well. And honestly, if you just Google LunarGreyRabbit, you're gonna run into me. So
All right, cool.
Right on, right on. Now, let's cue the conclusion music. Da 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 da. Have a great day,
All
everyone.
right. See you soon.
bye.